Welcome to GRCC News. I'm Lonnie Allen.
And I'm Shivani Singh.
Coming up in this segment, we'll get an update on the GRCC's Woodrick Diversity Center and the Black Student Union's Open Mic Night.
We'll also get the latest on GRCC's campus going smokeless and get the latest political news.
But up first, on November 17th, the GRCC Presidential Search Committee began reviewing applicants for a new president of this college. The last search ended with the Board of Trustees deciding to go back out and extend their search. Board of Trustees Chairperson Gary Shank said that the committee would meet again after the initial application review. This full session meeting would then select the semi-finalists. The first process is done privately. At the end of the interviews, finalists will be recommended to the Board of Trustees from whom a president will be chosen. The names of the finalists will be the public and the interviews will be public, Shank said. That the two finalists from the last search have chosen to remain under consideration, and they are Dr. Gordon May and Dr. Lawrence Spragues. This time around, the process will remain open to new applicants even though the initial search had closed on November 2nd. Shank said the candidate would really need spectacular credentials in his estimation to be considered, but he did not want to leave any stone unturned. He also repudiated the idea that the Board of Trustees was looking for another Juan Olivares. Dr. Olivares was the right man for the right place for his time, Shank said. This is a different time for GRCC, and the board is looking for a visionary. Juan Olivares served as president of GRCC for 9 years. He left the position at the end of the contract period in July of 2008 for a job with the Kalamazoo Foundation. For GRCC News, I'm Lonnie Allen.
Are you curious about the Diversity Center at GRCC? I interviewed Chris Arnold, director of the Bob and Alicia Woodrick Diversity Learning Center at GRCC, and he was very willing to answer all of my questions. Mr. Arnold explained that the Diversity Learning Center was created in 2002, and the reason for its existence, in Mr. Arnold's words, was to meet the needs of the Grand Rapids Community College by institutionalizing diversity. The Diversity Learning Center will embrace and promote diversity of race, color, religion, sexual orientation, gender, political persuasion, age, national origin, weight, height, marital status, disability status, or as a Vietnam-era veteran in any of its educational programs and activities, including admissions and employment. I told Mr. Arnold that I've heard from students that the Diversity Center brings in amazing guest speakers to lecture at GRCC. Mr. Arnold said that the speakers are selected based on what is happening in our world on both global and local levels. When I asked about the speakers who have come or are about to come for this year at GRCC, Mr. Arnold gave me a flyer with information about each of the speakers. Already on October 8th, Ray Suarez, a journalist, visited campus to discuss media politics in Washington, and many students who came to listen were blown away. There are many more speakers coming. Amy Dickinson about aging in the 21st century, B.D. Wong, the actor whom some of you may recognize from NBC's Law & Order, who will speak about racial self-image and the model minority myth. Prince Ketka Dlamini, humanitarian, who will speak of global forgiveness and connectedness. And lastly, for this year, author and healthcare analyst Shanley Brownlee will speak of debunking the myth of poor care for American veterans. At the end of our interview, the last question asked by Mr. Arnold to me was, ever wish you had some place to share your thoughts related to cultural diversity or interests? The Diversity Center will host a monthly opportunity to listen or share with each other through a drop-in open chat held the third Thursday of each month. The meetings are held at 12 noon, 119 Learning Resource Center. We welcome all students to stop by and let us know what you would like to see happening on campus for students. We also have volunteer opportunities, Arnold added. It looks like the Diversity Center serves a very important purpose at GRCC. I'm Shivani Singh.
And I'm Brittany Mosley. Our monthly open mic night was held last Wednesday in the Quiet Cafe. It's sponsored by the Black Student Union, also known as the BSU. Once a month, all students from various cultures and ethnic backgrounds come out on a Wednesday night to relax and hear the school's local talent. Some of the different talents that are represented are singing, DJing, poetry, freestyling, and comedy. It's $3 for admission and $5 to participate. There is a cash prize rewarded to the first place winners. And if you're a lover of music or any other cultural arts, then you'll definitely have a lot of fun and enjoy yourself. The great part about Open Mic Night is that it's a school scholarship fundraiser. The scholarship is called Milo Brown, which is awarded to a student seeking academic financial aid. So by participating, not only are you having a great night of entertainment, but it's also for a really good cause. But why stop there? Anytime, well, at any place, and anyone is welcome to become a member of the BSU. In fact, they encourage all ethnic backgrounds to join in. It's a great way to network people that you go to school with. I'm Brittany Mosley, hoping you'll decide to join us next month at the BSU Open Mic Night. So round up some friends and put together an act. Who knows, there might be some talent inside you that's just aching to get out. And for more news around campus, here's Daryl Smith. Daryl?
Grand Rapids Community College went smoke-free November 20th of this year. Some, such as board president Gary Schnick, say this is an idea whose time has come, and also claims it will promote better health, safety, and a better learning environment. But others feel this is an invasion of our constitutional rights and cannot be enforced. Mark Mulder, a freshman here at GRCC, says,
"This sucks. Man, I wish I had a cig."
Thank you. I'm Daryl Smith for GRCC News.
Hello, this is Lex Massey from GRCC News discussing politics. Several law enforcement professionals from Oakland County voiced their opposition to Proposal 1, which would allow the use of medical marijuana. During a press conference with U.S. Drug Czar Michael Walters Bouchard, Oakland County sheriffs, stated that voting for Proposal 1 is like a nose under the tent, which he suggests they are trying to use something that we all feel sympathetic about, and we all believe ought to be addressed to the people that are terminally ill or in chronic pain. Next, Bouchard stated that for the doctors that are for Proposal 1, the overall objective is to legalize all drugs. Finally, Bouchard said medical marijuana is not the most effective tool to prescribe for appetite and pain. There are other types of medicines out there that are prescribed for that. For GRCC News, I'm Lex Massey. Alicia?
With the election getting closer and closer, the attacks seem to get more and more personal. Most recently, Republican presidential candidate John McCain has been questioning Barack Obama's terrorist connections to the Weather Underground, specifically Bill Ayers and his wife Bernadine Dorn. The Weather Underground was a radical group of Vietnam protesters in the late 60s, early 70s. The group took blame for the bombings of what they called American symbols of injustice, such as the Pentagon and the Capitol. John McCain says that the people have a right to know about these connections, citing boards Obama and Ayers served on, as well as a party thrown at the beginning of Barack Obama's political career. McCain also questioned statements made by Ayers in which he said, "We didn't do enough." We questioned Ms. Dorn on this statement, and she promises us that it is a gross misunderstanding, saying that not doing enough does not mean they needed to set more bombs, but instead said, "We didn't do enough because history can show us that the war went on another 10 years and another million-plus people died. It's clear that we didn't do enough." The actions of the Weather Underground are not debatable. However, the impact they will have on this election is a different story. For GRCC News, I'm Alicia Korozuka.
Welcome back to GRCC News. I'm Naomi Engel.
And I'm Judson Rodriguez. Coming up in this segment, we'll look at West Michigan's economy and check in with our entertainment reporters.
But first, a side of war we don't usually hear. Ishmael Bea was a child soldier, and he wrote a memoir of his experience called A Long Way Gone. This book has been somewhat controversial because it tells of children being traumatized, forced to fight in war, and forced to kill. These young children were forced into killing or being killed themselves. In the past decade, war has claimed the lives of over 2 million children. Currently, 300,000 children are fighting in wars around the world, and more than 10 million kids have been injured in conflicts. Those who lose their parents are likely to be recruited into the armed forces, and it might be their only hope for survival. The children fight because they are fearful and are sometimes forced to hurt or kill their own families. In the 1990s, over 12 million kids were orphaned or separated from their families because of war. Kids now serve in 40% of the world's armed forces, rebel groups, and terrorist organizations, and they fight in almost 75% of the world's conflicts. Some of these children have been as young as 5 years old. They are given drugs by their military commanders. Girls and boys are soldiers, but girls typically are raped, killed, or held captive by military commanders. Today, most child soldiers are used on the front line or to clear minefields to take the brunt of the kill. As Ishmael Bale learned firsthand, no child should ever have to do or see what he did to survive. I'm recommending this book because, as Jon Stewart said on The Daily Show, it makes your heart hurt. For GRCC News, I'm Naomi Engel.
For the heads of Spectrum Health, the expansion of Michigan State's School of Medicine to Grand Rapids has been looked at as an opportunity to break through and become the premier medical epicenter of the United States. Already known as a leader in the field, Spectrum Health has been making breakthroughs in medicine since its famed merger between Blodgett Memorial Hospital and Butterworth Hospital. With the expansion of a top-notch medical school to the area, it can't be anything but good for business and the community. Chief of Surgery and MSU School of Medicine alum, Dr. Carlos Rodriguez, has been working with the school for over 5 years, teaching residents and giving expert opinion. He views the medical school as a way to stand out first in the Great Lakes regions and then to grow to the premier medical focus of the country. He wanted to make it very clear when he stated, "We've moved beyond local or statewide recognition. With the addition of the Meyer Heart Center and the Lemon Holton Cancer Pavilion, and now the transfer of the medical school, we have aligned ourselves along hospitals such as Johns Hopkins, not only to save lives, but also to conduct and continue important groundbreaking research." Not only are the healthcare benefits from the move great, it would also turn the economy into a steady, always increasing climb. Rodriguez points out that people will always get injured, people will always need professional medical attention. We want to make Grand Rapids and the metro area into a gathering point for leading, research, and medical guidance. Dr. Rodriguez says that the economy would benefit because of the influx of people into the area and the opening of many new and relevant jobs. The construction can be seen alongside Michigan Street near Division and College Avenue. I'm Judson Rodriguez. Now here's more on West Michigan's economy with Chris Cathy.
When it comes to the economy, relatively all of us are affected in one way or another by changes in the stock market. Though most of us may worry about gas prices, 401ks, some industries that are leisure-based, such as tourism and dining, are even more directly affected than some may think. A lot of people are willing to go out if they have some extra cash, but without that money, would they still go out? The recent ups and downs of the economy have got me wondering, can the state of the market really affect the business of something like that of a restaurant or tourism that drastically? I've spoken to Charlie Tallboys, dining room manager at the Grill at Watermark Country Club. He says, the economy definitely affects our industry. It's a huge factor. Whenever the market starts diving, it's almost like a dark cloud rolling over the restaurant. We've been forced to start making aggressive cutbacks over the past several weeks, definitely more aggressive than I would like. But when the market is in a state where guys making six figures are losing their jobs and retirees are finding that the money that they save just isn't enough, every industry hurts. The leisure industries, such as going out to the movies or out to dinner, are normally the first thing that people are willing to cut from their budgets. Also, if people are going out, you're seeing a trend of stinginess. Instead of buying a $90 bottle of wine when people are going out, they're settling for just a glass or maybe a bottle in the $40 to $60 range. Mr. Tallboys concluded by saying, the state of the economy is definitely one of the largest factors when it comes to our bottom line in day-to-day or week-to-week operations. So that leaves a lot of us to realize, if you think the economy is really hurting you, at least you are not one of these guys. For GRCC News, I'm Chris Cathy.
It's time now for the latest from the world of entertainment. I'm Jessie Stevens.
And I'm James Wallington. I guess that makes us Jessie James.
I guess so. So, are you looking for something fun and inexpensive to do with your friends and family? Then you should come on down to The Shape of Things, being performed by our very own GRCC players. The show runs October 29th through November 1st at 8 p.m. Tickets are available in the Spectrum Theater's box office, located on our campus. If you're tired of this cold weather like me, this play is sure to heat up your night. Directed by Tom Cagliel, this play is a roller coaster of love, hate, and deception. Nerdy Adam is swept away when he meets the beautiful Evelyn at college. He feels so lucky to be with her. But is she really in love? Or is Adam just another segment of her fallacious plan? Is he just the prey to this predator? The choice is yours. From GRCC News, I'm Jessie Stevens.
The holiday season is upon us, and it's time to whip out the eggnog, the holiday decor, celebrate holiday traditions, and pull out the classic holiday movies. If that isn't enough and you need something to do with the family for the holidays, then you might be interested in this. The Christmas classic A Wonderful Life is making its regional and theater debut in the Grand Rapids Community Theater stage. As Wonderful Life originally started as a holiday concert series, and now a musical theater production has been adapted. The show originally debuted in 2 local New York theaters. After receiving the rights to the script, Penelope Notter, local theater director who has also directed past holiday shows like The Sound of Music, is delighted to bring the community together this season with this show. A Wonderful Life opened on November 21st and will continue its run until December 20th. Ticket prices vary depending on where you'd like to be seated. For additional ticket information, visit or call the Grand Rapids Civic Theater box office at 616-222-6653. I'm James Wallington. Now here's Katie with a concert update from Calvin College.
Calvin College has been known for bringing some of the greatest indie artists to the Grand Rapids area. It's housed amazing talent such as Sufjan Stevens, Iron and Wine, Explosions in the Sky, and recently the ultimate indie collective, Broken Social Scene. These next few months are definitely no exception. Coming on December 21st is Woven Hand with special guest Crooked Saints at the Ladies Literary Club. Tickets are $10 to the public. On January 5th, we have My Brightest Diamond with special guest Claire and the Reasons playing again at the Ladies Literary Club. Tickets to this one are $15 to the public. A couple of days later on the 17th is Anathallo with Cale Parks, and they're playing in the Fine Arts Center. Tickets are only $10. January 20th, the Blind Boys of Alabama, widely known for supporting Ben Harper, are playing in the Fine Arts Center, and tickets are $20. The last show Calvin has scheduled so far is one I'm personally very excited for. On February 10th, British band Los Campesinos is playing the Ladies Literary Club with special guest Titus Andronicus. Tickets to this are only $10. This is definitely a show you shouldn't miss, and you can purchase tickets for any concert through the Calvin box office and online through the Calvin website. You can also go right downtown and pick them up at Vertigo on Division Street. All of the shows at Calvin start at 8 p.m. and doors open at 7. If you're a Calvin student, tickets are always discounted with the Calvin ID. Make sure you go online to the Calvin College Student Activities Office website and check out all of the upcoming events. That's it for me. I'm Katie DeBlois, and we'll have more entertainment news after this break. You're watching GRCC News.
Welcome back to GRCC News. I'm Nicole Hoffman.
And I'm Lisa Baltrazak. I've got a fashion update coming up this break, plus our look at sports. But first, here's Nicole with a concert review.
The parking lot was already packed as more people filed in to get in line 2 hours before the show even started. Big letters took up the announcement board, 5-Finger Death Punch. The line went from halfway through the parking lot all the way up to the entry doors. Workers stood outside the doors checking licenses and marking a big permanent marker M on the hands of minors. As screaming fans filled the orbit room, they chanted for the band to emerge from backstage, chanting and screaming the band's name. Soon after, the band Another Black Day did take the stage. They then performed 6 songs and had the crowd going wild. After a 15-minute chant-filled intermission, the next band, In This Moment, took the stage. With vocals that sound like a man, frontwoman Maria Brink filled the venue with screams, awing the crowd. Another 15-minute intermission dragged on until Bury Your Dead took to the stage. The crowd was jumping and singing along to most of the songs and screaming for more when they were finished. After Bury Your Dead finished their set, the 20-minute intermission seemed to fans like a lifetime. Chanting FFDP and yelling for 5-Finger Death Punch to take the stage, finally the fans' request was granted and the smoke steamed out, the lights went off, and the colored stage lights lit as the members of the band took to the stage. The crowd went crazy, finally getting what they had been requesting for hours. 5-Finger Death Punch played 10 songs and fulfilled the fans' dream of the night. For GRCC Entertainment News, I'm Nicole Hoffman.
Are you thinking about going on a shopping spree but wondering what are the new fall trends for 2008? Well, I have your dish on how to look your best this fall. Whether you are looking for a new coat, skirt, or that perfect pair of boots, aim for anything long and lean. According to Vogue, anything from mid-calf to floor length is among the freshest and hottest styles on the runway. Now, when choosing a pattern, you have a couple of choices. InStyle magazine reports that feminine is in this season. This includes anything from lots of ribbons, bows, lace, and ruffles. If the frilly look is not for you, try a solid pattern. Vogue states that the less is more look is also in this season. Now remember, your look is not complete without the hair. To go along with the perfect fall outfit, you might also be thinking about the right look for your hair. Do you go long or short, light or dark? The options seem endless. Penny Bryan, a local salon owner and stylist, says to go with warm colors for the fall. Brown, black, and red are very popular colors right now. Bryan also believes the pixie cut will be popular this season. The pixie cut is a short haircut once made popular in the 1960s. So if you're looking for a new do, ditch those long summer locks and summer highlights for the hottest fall style. Now here's somebody who's always in style, Samantha Long.
Thanks, Lisa. Competitive dance is taking West Michigan by storm. More and more high schools are getting into the groove of competitive dance. Normally, dance is native to the east side of the state, and on the east side, teams are known for going all the way to nationals and winning. Nationals are held in Florida and are a 3-day event, so a dancer is very easy to spot down there. A team from Kennewill Hills has been going to nationals for the past 3 years. Although going to nationals is a huge honor to be given, there's another honor a team can get right here in Michigan. It is the Palace, housed in Detroit. This high-energy competition is one every team in Michigan hopes to be invited to. The winning team is given the opportunity to be the halftime show for the Detroit Pistons. Teams trade all year round to get ready for this competitive season. West Ottawa dance team held their auditions this past week. Senior Kelsey Carmichael said, "I am very excited for this dance season. Being a senior, it's going to be the best season by far." Coach Marley shared this team has great potential to go far in this competition, and we're hoping to improve from last season. Good luck, WOW dancers. Looks like these Lady Panthers are on a prowl for the win this season. They'll be the ones to look out for this competitive season. I'm Samantha Long. Now let's check in with GRCC Sports.
I'm Chad Flory. Living in Michigan, it can sometimes be hard to get excited for the new seasons for our major sports teams, none more so than the Detroit Lions. Now, I'm a huge fan of the Lions, so don't get me wrong, but the Lions have found new ways to disappoint us every year since the last time they made the playoffs in 1999. This year has been no different. At this time last year, the Lions were 6-2. They'd given us hope. This hope was short-lived as they went on to win only one of their next 8 games. This year, they showed some fire, winning all 4 of their preseason games. This, of course, blew out just as quickly as they have lost all 6 regular season games they have played thus far. There is hope on the horizon, however. Earlier this season, Lions fired their GM Matt Millen. For years, Lions fans have turned out and chanted, "Fire Millen." In the 7 years under Millen, the Lions went 31-81, the worst of any team in the NFL. This season is likely to be beyond repair, but this has opened the door to try and improve for the future. Along with the firing of Millen, the Lions have also traded star receiver Roy Williams. While this may seem like a bad thing, the Lions received a 1st, 3rd, and 6th round draft pick for Williams. With these picks, and the ones the Lions already possess, the Lions will be able to start to rebuild their shattered team. This season has seen many blows to the morale of the Lions, with the major injuries of veterans like John Kitna and Dan Campbell, but these injuries have also let younger players get into the game. These younger players, such as quarterback Dan Orlovsky, who hadn't started a game prior to Kitna's injury, are gaining valuable game experience. With any luck, the Lions will be able to take advantage of this experience, their draft picks, and new management, and finally be able to turn the team around in the coming years. For GRCC Sports, I'm Chad Flory. Now here's Alex with a college football update.
After the tides turned in the battle for the Paul Bunyan Trophy between in-state rivals Michigan and Michigan State, the Spartans of Michigan State continued their winning ways, defeating Wisconsin 25-24 on a last-second field goal, then taking care of Purdue at home 21-7. Michigan's problems continued, however, dropping a shootout 48-42 in West Lafayette and falling out of bowl contention for the first time in 33 years, guaranteeing themselves a losing season. Elsewhere in the Big Ten, top-ranked Penn State's winning ways ended with a thrilling loss in Iowa. Ricky Stanzi and the 5-4 Hawkeyes used a late interception and knocked through a field goal as time expired to down the number 3 nationally ranked Nittany Lions. This leaves only Alabama and high-flying Texas Tech unbeaten atop the BCS. Alabama won an ugly game against arch rival LSU, and Texas Tech continued their drive through the Big 12, downing top-ranked Texas and 9th-ranked Oklahoma State. The top 5 is rounded out by one-loss powerhouses Florida, Texas, and USC. This season only looks to get better and more exciting as we close in on conference championship games and bowl season. Look for these remaining key matchups to factor into who gets to play for that BCS title. Number 5 Oklahoma and number 2 Texas Tech. Tech's uprising adds one more roadblock to the Big 12 championship. A loss for Tech would most likely dash BCS title hopes as Oklahoma looks to grab its spot in the Big 12 title game. Auburn at number 1, Alabama. Nearly every year of this ugly rivalry, this game has mattered for one or both of these teams. In the Iron Bowl, records are out the window, and don't be surprised if Auburn makes a run at taking down top-ranked Alabama. And finally, number 15, Michigan State at number 8, Penn State. Penn State's slip-up and a victory for Michigan State would mean a Big Ten championship for Michigan State. This could mean more than any other, with Sparty looking to quiet its critics that claim Michigan State cannot finish a season. I'm Alex Holt. For the latest on Michigan State basketball, here's Amar Butler.
Thank you, Alex. Well, the football team isn't the only thing on minds of Spartan fans, as Michigan State men's basketball team is set to kick off their 2008 season with high expectations and their eyes on the ultimate prize, the national championship. The road to Detroit, where the Final Four will be held this season, will not be an easy one, as Coach Tom Izzo has prepared one of the toughest schedules in school history. Coach Izzo says, quote, "I think it's right for this team, one way or the other. We are going to either understand we are not quite as good as everybody has picked us, we are as good as everybody has picked us, or maybe we're a little better than everybody picked us." He went on to say, "I think we'll know that early in the year with hopefully enough time to regroup or build on to whatever happens by the middle of December." The Spartans play regular season games against Gonzaga, Maryland, Georgetown, Bradley, Tennessee, and Texas, all of whom have tournament quality teams. A much anticipated showdown against top seeded North Carolina already has everybody's attention, as this will show just how legitimate this year's team really is. Spartan's success this year depends on the shoulders of standout junior forward Raymar Morgan, as well as super sophomore Kalen Lucas. Solid post play, speed, and athleticism will be relied on heavily if this squad is to reach its goals. For GRCC Sports, I'm Amar Butler. Go Green.
Let's switch back to football for a moment. For the University of Michigan, the 2008 football season, although necessary, would much rather be forgotten. This season has been so tough in all aspects of the word. After starting off with a heartbreaking loss in the Big House to Utah, a perennial BCS buster, things have not gotten any better. After a punishing, some thought, landmark performance against the then number 9 ranked Wisconsin, they have since struggled, losing 4 straight games and slipping to an upsetting 1-4 in Big Ten play. It's not all bad, though. This is the first season under new head coach Rich Rodriguez. Coming over from West Virginia, Rodriguez knew it would be tough to get a new system implemented in the first year. Talking with junior punter Zoltan Mesko, I asked how the feel of the team right now is. He said, "It's obviously a different look, and the feel in the locker room and on the practice field, but we're not giving up. We work hard every day, just getting ready for the next one. It's apparent that things will get better, but right now, around Ann Arbor and the country, especially in the eyes of fans, it's looking like it might be later than sooner." Rome wasn't built in a day, Mesko says. This quote can give Michigan fans across the nation comfort. They just have to hang in there through these tough times. We will be back, he added. But for the sake of college football fans and fans everywhere, let's hope it was built sooner than later. For GRCC Sports, I'm Ryan Personaire. Now to close our show, here's Christine.
Thanks, Ryan. As the saying goes, what's mine is yours. This is the philosophy of those who participate in the Grand Rapids Really Really Free Market. On the last Sunday of every month, this flea market-like event is held in the parking lot on Wealthy Street in Easttown. Many people gather together to share what they have and ask for what they need in the community. Many goods and services are offered free of charge, ranging from clothing, books, and bicycles to haircuts, food, and musical entertainment. Ask anyone and they'll tell you, the community is whatever we make it. By offering these things they no longer need, and taking those that they do, the people benefit from one another, calling it a good alternative to capitalism. This event is especially beneficial in this time of economic crisis, where some people cannot afford these things on their own. The group would like to centralize a torn community, to teach, to share, and to enjoy a life which doesn't have to be so capitalistic and difficult. Again, these events are held on the last Sunday of every month from 3 to 7 p.m. in the parking lot on the corner of Wealthy and Fuller. So come out to share what you have and ask for what you need. I'm Christine DeVries. Thanks for watching GRCC News.